So the time has come that we need to talk about the Aeolak. Contrary to the A-Grid, I'm actually looking forward to talking about this one. Now, to get a hold of this thing, well, unfortunately it's a lot. Similar to the A-Grid, you have to have a personal quarters, you have to complete all the story missions up to and through the New War, which requires a Necromech and a Railjack. Then you have to complete Angels of Zariman and run the missions on there. You get the stock and the receiver from Void Flood at Rotation C, you get the blueprint from Zariman Tier 5 bounties, and you get the blueprint from Void Cascade also at Rotation C. It does take a while, and also like what I said about the A-Grid, if you're new, I wouldn't try to go straight for this thing. I would just wait till you get to that point and then look at maybe getting it. Now, as for crafting this thing, well, I'll be the first to admit that it sucks to have to do. But let's go ahead and break it down. You have to craft each of the parts individually, and then you do the overarching blueprint. It's kind of like a warframe in that regard. But anyways, as for the barrel, that requires 15,000 credits, 40 Thraxplasm, 5 Void Bloom Quills, 5 Void Gel Orbs, and 2,000 Oxium. The receiver is 15,000 credits, 30 Thraxplasm, 5 Void Plume Quills, and 1,800 Cryotic, and 5 Entrati Lanthorns. The stock is 15,000 credits, 30 Thraxplasm, 10 Void Plume Quills, 3,000 Alloy Plate, and 5 Organ Cells. As for the main blueprint, it's just all those parts, 15,000 credits, 50 Thraxplasm, and yeah. Like I said, it's not great to have to craft this thing. Base stats on an Aeolak are 6 fire rate, 40 magazine size, 2-second reload speed, very high accuracy, automatic trigger, 1 punch through, 4 to 5 Riven disposition, 21% crit chance, 2.3 times crit damage, 33% status chance, 23 puncture, 15 impact, 17 slash, and 5 radiation damage for a total of 60 damage. It does have a unique trait, that being the alternate fire, which is an explosive projectile that deals blast damage in a 7-meter radius. As for that, the charge time is 0.3 seconds, with a fire rate of 1.5 seconds, magazine size of 40, 2-second reload speed, accuracy is low, it's a charge trigger of course, punch through is locked on it. The crit and status is the same, but the damage is 9.7 puncture, 58.2 impact, 29.1 slash for a total of 97, and the radial on it, again, the crit and status is the same, but it has a 7-meter blast radius with 789 blast damage and a fall off of 50%. As for my build, well, I did get a Riven, which is 161.6% damage, 131% critical chance, and 44.2 reload speed. Otherwise, I went with a hybrid crit and status build, which actually does quite well. I have my primary frostbite on there to enhance my crits, of course. Damage-wise, I went for corrosive and cold. Cold for the frostbite, of course. Corrosive because who doesn't need a bit of armor strip? But either way, as you can see here, it looks like it's doing pretty good, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate this here. As for a build without a Riven, well, as you can see, I went for the galvanized scope route. I still don't have serration on there, because, well, it's hard to squeeze it on a build like this. Actually, that's kind of what the Riven's good for, is, getting more crits, as well as having your serration mod built into it. Crits are the more important part there, as you can probably guess, and I'll demonstrate this here. As for synergies, well, there's nothing you wouldn't really expect. There's nothing crazy fancy either. But it does have some that work really well with it. Like, if you have a crit booster, fantastic. I do love running this thing with Harrow, because red crits on an Aeolak is very nice. As for Riven's, well, it is a 4 out of 5 disposition, so it is definitely one that's worth trying to get a Riven for. Obviously don't spend an arm and a leg on it, but if you get one, it's a good one to have. It definitely is. I will say mine with a Riven is a lot of fun. So closing thoughts on the Aeolak. Well, my only real gripe with it is how much of a pain in the butt it can be to acquire. Like, genuinely it is quite the wait if you're new. But at the same time, I have no problem with it being a weapon that's for the late game in particular, especially because it does perform like a late game weapon. It's not one of the strongest by any measure, but it is solid. It can do a lot of good work, and I will say if you get a Riven, it's actually right up there with some of the more powerful weapons in the game. But even without one, it's not a bad weapon by any measure. I kind of have like the exact opposite thoughts as I did with the A-Grid if you saw that video, where my frustration with that was just, it was not worth the wait. This one kind of is. My only thing I wish they would change about it is how brutal the farm is, because the farm for this thing is just awful. Mainly because of the fact that even after you acquire the parts, you still have to build them, and the stuff you need to build said parts can take a while to get a hold of. I will say 2000 Oxium is no joke, but even barring that, the Void Plume Quills, if you're just getting to Angels of the Zeraman, is kind of annoying to get a hold of. Not horrendous by any measure. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the Fenmore requires the same amount of them just for the gun itself as opposed to like individual parts or whatever. But either way, like, it can be a lot. But I also will say it is a fun weapon to play with. In all honesty, one of the things I thought was really interesting with it is the fact that when I first got it, I used it a little bit and I'm like, oh, this thing sucks, never mind. But once I started working on building stuff when I was sick, if you recall, when I was sick, I was spending a lot of time just building a lot of the weapons, that way I'd have them ready for the series. That was when I started to realize that this weapon actually is pretty solid, and I'm so glad I didn't end up trashing the Riven I had for it, because I already had one knocking around. Like, I got lucky and ended up nabbing that, funny enough, before I even got the weapon. But anyways, I do like this thing, it is a lot of fun, and if you are in the area you need to be in order to get it, I do recommend going for it. Just, I don't know, maybe play some music in the background while you're doing it or something so you don't go completely insane getting the resources. But anyways, that being said, thank you all for watching, get plenty of water, and have a good one.